Hi, what's up YouTube? Welcome back for another video. I'm trying to figure out a good schedule for my videos and stuff, but I'm struggling because got a lot going on. You know, like I recently moved a few weeks ago and traveling back and forth to work. I'm still driving a long distance for work, but you know, I know y'all probably don't care about it anyway. Anyway, let's get to a video. We got when the greatest non-point guard started at point guard. Let's say they probably would have James Harden on here because he's listed as a shooting guard. He can play point guard. Probably got Michael Jordan on here. Probably got somebody like Grant Hill or Jason McGrady. Who else could play point guard that's not a point guard? Kevin Durant maybe. But I don't know. We get right into the video. We're going to see who all going to be on here. And make sure you guys subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button, all the good stuff. And let's get into the video. Let's go.
There have been many incredible point guards throughout the history of the NBA.
Then
there are some NBA greats who are not natural point guards, but filled the position in situations
where
it was needed. Today, we're taking a look at those greats in those specific instances as we discuss some of the less documented periods of their careers. First off, Kobe Bryant. The Mamba is commonly acknowledged as the second greatest shooting guard of all time, but his experience playing the point guard position started as early as his first two.
Like I always say, if you talk about Kobe Bryant, if you talk about Kobe, you gotta say R.I.P. Kobe because we all know what happened. We're not gonna get into that. But
seasons in the NBA, as he sometimes came off the bench and backed up the Lakers' all-star point guard Nick Van Exel. Although Kobe didn't play many minutes,
I really forgot about that. He did play some point guard his first couple of
a decade and a half later, in the 2012 to 2013 season, Kobe was 34 years old and was in his 17th season in the league, and this would be his last season as an MVP caliber player that we all remember famously ended with the Achilles tear. There was one small stretch of games where he played primarily as a facilitator. It was January and it was a 3-game home stretch against Utah, Oklahoma City, and New Orleans. And in those games, he put up stat lines of 14 points, 14 assists, 9 rebounds, then 21 points, 14 assists, 9 rebounds, and then 14 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. A more selective Kobe shot 59% from the field over that stretch, and the Lakers won all 3 games. In the post-game interview of the 3rd game, Kobe was asked many questions about his newfound love of facilitating, and Kobe gave credit to his childhood idol, Magic Johnson. When asked how he would do if he focused all of his energy on being a point guard for an entire season, Kobe responded by saying, "You think I'm going to sit here and say I wasn't going to be the best?" This was certainly Kobe's most impressive stretch playing like a point. The next instance wasn't quite as impressive. 1 year later, after returning from his torn Achilles, Kobe would officially move to the point guard position. It was a decision made by his head coach Byron Scott, due to the team already dealing with injuries at the position. Kobe was 35 and in his 18th season, and over the next 4 games starting at point guard, he averaged 13 points, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds on 43% shooting. Unfortunately, he also averaged an ugly 5.8 turnovers per game.
That was one thing about Kobe. When he handled the ball a lot, specifically like in his early career, he did have a lot of turnovers because he was kind of careless with the ball, making bad passes, bad decisions and stuff. And 5.8 turnovers a game, that was kind of rough.
At the end of the 4th game is where Kobe fractured his left knee and his season was done. There was a time when Kobe looked like he could have been one of the best point guards in the league if he played the position full time, but his post-Achilles tear stint wasn't it. Second up is Dwyane Wade. Wade spent the majority of his career dominating his opponents as a shooting guard, but you may have not known that he played the majority of his rookie season as a point guard.
I knew that because he started in the league as a point guard. He was listed as a shooting guard coming into the league, then ended up having to play point guard for the Heat. I did not forget about that.
He was a very productive rookie, but despite the different role, he played much of the same style as a slasher, and there wasn't much of a change in his ratio between his scoring and assists. As the designated floor general, he helped lead his Heat to the second round of the playoffs before they were eliminated in 6 games by the Indiana Pacers. By the next season, they acquired Shaquille O'Neal in a trade, and that's when Wade officially moved to the shooting guard position. Third is Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah.
I'm kind of not surprised that Wilt is on here because at one point in time he did average like 8.6 assists a game. So
You heard me right. Among the 1 billion other crazy things that this man has done, the 7'1" center did play basketball at the point guard position. It's widely known that he once led the NBA in overall assists, but he actually started at center during that season, so that's not the instance I'm talking about. It was actually as a member of the Harlem Globetrotters in the late 1950s. Alright, I get it. The fact that he was on the Globetrotters makes it a little less impressive, but it still speaks volumes about Wilt Chamberlain's skill set. The reason for it was the fact that Meadowlark Lemon and Wilt Chamberlain were both usually playing at center, so the coach decided to start Lemon at center and move Chamberlain to the point to take advantage of his solid ball handling, passing, and perimeter shooting.
that's crazy.
As far as any form of professional basketball goes, I'm not sure if there's ever been a bigger player to play the point guard position than Wilt was.
Nope.
Fourth up is LeBron James. I'll try not to linger on this one for too long, since LeBron's recent dominance at point guard is pretty well known, but there's aspects of it that are certainly worth highlighting. LeBron's last 2 seasons with the Lakers are the first seasons of his career where he's played full-time at the point guard position. Usually, when we discuss the greatest players at each position, LeBron is considered as a small forward, as he should be.
But I don't know if you're going to mention this or not, but he came into the league as a point guard. I think he started at point guard his first year or two in the league. Even though he was listed as small forward, he had to start playing point guard at the beginning of his career in the NBA. But I think he played like power forward or center in high school, but he was still like pretty much like the point guard in high school. But yeah.
But the 6'9" freight train has reinvented his game once again and put up numbers that are utterly remarkable for a point guard. But for a point guard at the age of 35 and 36, there's absolutely nothing comparable. If you look at the greatest point guards of all time, they were either retired by the time they were LeBron's age, or they were nowhere close to his level of production. To say LeBron's longevity is amazing is beyond redundant at this point, but when you look at it exclusively through the lens of a point guard, you simply can't say enough about it. Lastly is Michael Jordan. As everyone knows, Jordan was a shooting guard who typically liked to play from the post and didn't really play the point position of the team's offense, except for when Doug Collins was Jordan's coach in the 1989 season. He actually appointed Jordan to the point guard position with only 24 games left in the season. As a point guard, Jordan had 15 assists in his first game. The very next game, Jordan had 21 points, 14 rebounds, and 14 assists against the Pacers in a 32-point blowout win, in which Jordan only played 32 minutes. MJ continued to play at the point guard spot until the end of the year, and in those 24 games, Jordan averaged 30.4 points, 9.2 rebounds, 10.7 assists, and 2.4 steals.
That's crazy.
In one stretch, he had a triple-double in 7 straight games and in 10 out of 11 games. In the game that Jordan didn't get a triple-double, he finished with 40 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds. Not only was Jordan incredible offensively at the point guard position, but as usual, he dominated defensively, as he was first team all-defense and finished 5th overall in the Defensive Player of the Year voting, which was ahead of every other guard that season. After Phil Jackson took over the following season, Jordan returned to the shooting guard position and returned to his role of playing from the post, while Scottie Pippen handled more of the team's distributing. All this goes to say that one can only imagine what Jordan's career would have looked like if he had remained at the point guard position. So what do you guys think? What was the most impressive example of a generally non-point guard player playing the point guard position? Let me know in the comments section below.
Man. I would say, well, Wilt Chamberlain didn't play point guard in the NBA. He said for Harlem Globetrotters for one game. So I'm going to X that out. But let's say if Kobe was a point guard his whole career, he would probably average a double-double, probably like between 25, 27 points and probably like 10 to 12 assists a game. But he would have a high turnover ratio, probably. he would probably have a high turnover stat line. Maybe like a little over 4. That's high though. That is kind of high. LeBron would probably have a different career. He would average a triple double through his whole career, probably. No doubt about that. He would have it probably like 27 points a game, like 12, 13 assists, like 11, 12 rebounds a game. Dude, that's crazy. Cause he's so athletic and he's real gifted. With the basketball, he can do a lot of things with the ball, a lot of things off the ball. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot of things off the ball, other than like posting up and getting the ball in the post, but he don't do that a lot, really. He's mainly a perimeter player. Dwyane Wade probably would have a different career, but I don't know. He probably would stay the same. He probably would average like between 5 and 6 assists a game, something like that. But enough talking. This is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you watched, subscribe if you're new. If you're new, subscribe if you're new. If you're new. I'm out, man. It's been a long day, man.